I want to show you one power move that can actually help you stop a meltdown with your toddlers. Okay. Not eventually and not after 10 minutes of negotiating, but the thing that really helps shift it almost immediately. Okay. When I figured this out, it has been a game changer for me. So let's talk about this. And it's not a script. Okay. And it's not a bribe. It's not a calm down voice. It's something neuroscience actually backs up, and it comes from a book that I go back to over and over again, and it's called The Whole Brain Child by Dr. Daniel Siegel and Tina Payne Bryson. And once I understood why it works and how it works, I could never go back to how I used to handle meltdowns or tantrums. So today I'm walking you through exactly what it is, why it works on a brain level, and word for word what it sounds like. All right, so let's dive in. So, if you're new here, my name is Tasneem Nomani. I'm a parenting coach for moms who are stuck in that battle of the daily yelling and screaming, and they want to find that connect and find more peace and calm in the relationships. So, if you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe and join my community. All right, so let me set the scene. Okay, we're talking about meltdowns. We're talking about tantrums. So, your kid is mid meltdown. Okay, he's on the kitchen floor because maybe you cut the sandwich the wrong way. Okay, I know, devastating, right? So, um, I've had this happen several times. Okay, not just the sandwich, but lots of different situations, right? I combed her hair the wrong way, or I didn't do the ponytail the right way. And my old instinct was just to explain first, okay? If it was a sandwich, it's just the same sandwich, and I just cut it diagonally. It doesn't really matter how it's cut. You're being silly. Let's just eat, okay? That would be me explaining mode, right? Or the hair, I'd be like, it looks nice. I've already done it. We don't have time, and let's move, right? That's now the logical and reasonable side of it. It was completely useless to her explaining this, okay? Um, and then the crying got even worse and not better because I was talking to a part of her brain that literally could not hear me in the moment. This is something that I learned in this book, and it was really, really powerful that we need to be talking to that particular part of the brain that's divided in two sections. So let's get into this. This piece of information, I think, is never taught to us, and it's not that your kid is ignoring your logic, it's that logic isn't reaching them at all right now. Okay, when they're in that meltdown phase and then that tantrum and the yelling and screaming phase, if you explain to them logically, it's not going to go through to them. Okay, because they just cannot grab that concept. Okay, so let's get into the brain science very simply. um, Here's the piece from The Whole Brain Child, the book that I was speaking about. And this changed everything for me when I started understanding this neuroscience. Okay. So our brains have two sides working together. Okay. A left side that's logical, verbal, and likes order and explanations, right? And the right side that is emotional, nonverbal, and holds the big feelings. Okay. So left brain equals logic, the right brain equals the big feelings. So when a kid is in that mid meltdown mode, okay, they're flooded on the right side. All feelings, big feelings, and there's no logic whatsoever, okay? And when we respond with reasoning, it's just a sandwich, or, it's just a new hairstyle, we're speaking to the left brain language to a right brain moment, okay? It doesn't calm them down, and it can't. It's not possible. They're not being dramatic or manipulative. Their brain, in that second, generally cannot process what we are saying. Okay? So the fix isn't a better explanation. The fix is meeting them where they are actually. Okay? That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea behind what Siegel and Bryson call the connect and redirect. Okay? So, okay, I'm not up to date with the slides, but hopefully you guys are getting this. Step one is to connect. Okay? Before you say a single logical word, you meet the feeling. Okay? That can look like getting down to their level, their eye level, a soft tone, even just reflecting on what you see. Okay? So if they're crying about that sandwich, just want to recognize their feeling. Okay? I see that you're really upset that I cut the sandwich the wrong way. Um, and that felt like a big deal for you. Okay? So you're not agreeing that the sandwich is a tragedy, or you're not agreeing that the hairstyle is a tragedy. You're just letting them feel felt, okay? Just helping them recognize that feeling. So this is the right brain talking to the right brain, okay? And it's the only thing that can actually bring the emotional storm down, okay? And that's the connection that we're talking about here. Now, step two is redirect. Okay. Only once you feel that shift in your child, the crying softens and the body starts to relax a little. You know, either you give them a hug, you're sitting with them, you're feeling that emotion with them, you bring in the logic. This is only after you have connected, right? The problem solving, the teaching is after the connection, not before. Okay, so you want to say that okay. Do you want me to cut you a new sandwich, or do you want to eat it like this, or do you want to cut it into another small bite-sized pieces? So that left brain, the logical piece, finally has somewhere to land. Okay, because the right brain isn't flooded anymore. Okay, there it is able to process that emotion and offering them a choice, right? Okay, you can leave the hairstyle like this. I can get you that butterfly clip that you like. We can put that in your hair, or um, give them another choice and see if that helps. Okay, so here's the line I want you to remember. You cannot redirect a brain that hasn't been connected. Remember the right and the left? You want to be able to connect the two brains together. So skipping straight to logic is like trying to teach someone math while they're still underwater. Okay? I know that's a kind of weird concept, but you want to pull them up for air first. You want them to take a deep breath first, and then you can start explaining to them. Right? Okay. So back to the sandwich disaster. Uh, these days it sounds more like, oh, that's not how you wanted it, huh? That's frustrating. Let her feel it for a few seconds. Then once her shoulders drop a little, you can ask, okay, want a new one? Or should we just cut off the corners or make little shapes out of? Maybe you have a heart shaped cookie cutter. You can do shapes out of them, right? So when you give them two options and just pause for a few seconds, um, it becomes much more easier to connect with them and help them calm down. Okay, so it's the same kid, the same sandwich, but a completely different brain that I was talking to. Okay, because I finally understood which one needed to go first. Okay, we needed to connect first. So let me give you another example to help this land a little better. Um, the old me would just completely try to go for the logic. Okay, try to explain. Okay, it's okay. Your hair looks good. People will love it, etc., etc. But honestly, um, because I was running late when I would comb the hair and I'd it take so much time doing it, I'd be running late to go to school, and I'd be pushing her continuously, telling her, "Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go." You know, she wouldn't get it. right? So let's get to another example when your child is refusing to go to school. Okay, I've heard this over and over again. You want to explain logically, okay, you have to go to school. Everyone goes to school. We don't have time for this. You're already late. What happens here is that the crying gets louder, okay? And still refuse to go. And you guys are both stressed and you're both late. So the stress and the anxiety and the frustration increases. So when you do the connect and redirect version, you can try something like this. You want to connect with their feeling first. Okay, get down to their level, even if it's just for 10 seconds. Okay, you want to tell them, okay, something about today feels really hard. Okay, really don't want to go to school. I can understand. Okay, and that's it. You're not fixing anything yet. Um, you're not even asking them why yet. It's just letting them recognizing their feelings, right? Okay, so that's about 10 seconds of connection first. And usually, not always, but usually, you will feel the shift. You will feel the shift with your child, okay? And the crying either softens or is lessened. And that's when that signal is that the right brain isn't flooded anymore. Okay. And now there's room for the left brain to come back online. Okay. And that's when we can redirect and we can ask them then logically, okay, what is the hard part today? Why is it that you don't want to go to school? Is there something at school that's bothering you? Okay. And then you can say something like, okay, let's pick one thing that would make today a little easier for you. Okay. Maybe they want to take their stuffed toy to school. Or maybe take a candy to school. Something that will help them ease the pressure. Again, same tool, completely different scenario, right? Because the connect and redirect isn't a toddler technique or a big kid technique, it's a brain technique, okay? So it works anywhere. There's a nervous system that's flooded, and whatever age that a nervous system happens to be, okay? So it can work for your teenagers as well. You just have to tweak a little bit, understand how it works for them and how to use language for them, okay? So I understand this is a concept trying to implement into your life is kind of difficult, right? Be honest. In the actual moment when you're triggered too, when you're frustrated, you're angry, remembering, okay, connect first. It's hard, okay, especially when you're doing on your own and you're running out of time. So that's exactly why I built something for myself years ago that I still use today. And a lot of my clients, moms, use it today to help them with their kids, and they've gotten really good results. It's called the reset method, okay? So recognize, exhale, seek, connection, engage with empathy, and then teach. Okay, so reset, R.E.S.E.T. Okay, so you'll notice that it's basically connect and redirect, just broken into small steps, so you can actually like grab onto it when you're mid chaos and your nervous system is spiking too. So let's be honest, it's just not like their brain flooding in those moments. Sometimes it's ours as well. When we're tired, we're exhausted, and we're overwhelmed. It's a way to help you recognize those triggers. So I'm not going to do like a big pitch here. If this sounds something like that would help, the reset system, I will put the whole system together for you guys. The guide, the word for word scripts, especially in the hard moments. The link is in the description if you want to grab it. All right. Um, and if you're in a season where you really want to just talk to somebody, okay? Because every child is different, every mother is different, every family is different, and your specific kid, your specific triggers. I do one-on-one for free clarity calls, and I have a few spots open for this week. There's no pressure, no pitch, just a conversation, and you can grab a spot through my calendar link that's also in the description below, or you can DM me on Instagram and we can chat there. Okay? So, if you've been trying to put in the logic through the meltdowns and wondering why it's not working, it was never about finding the better words, right? It was about which brain you were talking to with your child. Okay. And you're not bad at this. Okay. You just need like the missing step. And now you have it. Okay. The right versus the left. So connect with the right or the left. Understand which one you want to connect to. All right. So next time you want to try and you want to try and let me know how it goes for you. Try to connect and redirect once that meltdown hits or the tantrum hits. And tell me in the comments how it went. And I love hearing back from you guys. It keeps me going. And if this was helpful, do hit the subscribe button because this is exactly the kind of real research-backed parenting talk that I aim to deliver to you guys on this channel. Inshallah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.